And your grandfather, you were telling me?
It was Kremnitz. He was a like what they call today a farmer. And he used to sell all different products to the people around the town and the other farmers around the town.
For what? For Hanukkah? Okay.
And your dad left.
Dad was what was he? Well, in here, in America, he was what they call a fruit peddler. And in Russia, I don't remember because it was too small.
Right.
I remember.
Now, which grandfather were you talking about? Was the father?
My mother's
your mom's father, because your dad moved to Kremnitz then and married your mom.
Yeah.
Right. And then they came here in 1912.
1912.
It's
Yeah.
not the one we just
And
All of us came, including my aunt, Max Eisner's wife. That's my mother's sister.
Right.
She and her 2 children came over with us. My mother was 5 boys, and she was 2 girls.
And what caused you to come over?
Well, her husband and my father were here already in America, and they together they sent over the money to get us over there.
Ah. And they were here in Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee, right?
Now, what about the other brothers of your father?
And my father, he went to Buffalo.
They went to Buffalo. Did they come first to Buffalo, or?
First they came to Milwaukee. Then to Buffalo.
So who was the first to come over?
My father.
And he just, do you know why?
My father and Mr. Eisner, my uncle. They both, my uncle came first, then my father came.
And so they left their families
there,
and then came to America and then sent for you.
They sent for them.
So were there a lot of people? Do you know why they decided to do that, or were there?
I never asked.
Were there other people in the town who had done that, maybe from Kremnitz?
Who what?
Who came here to Milwaukee first?
No.
So they just upped and left. And good thing too, huh?
And how? Because World War I started the year after that.
Right. So that you got out just in time.
I remember my father holding me on his back through fields. They used to, they couldn't pass the borders. They had to bribe the guy to pass the border. So he used to go through fields with high grass, and I was on his back. I remember that.
Yeah.
He carried me on his back through the fields until we got to a
I
little
want
town.
you to tell us when I'm here.
Well, we got it on video now, so you can see it forever.
Listen to it as much as you want.
Forever and ever and ever.
So that then we got to Holland,
To get us back.
and there we got the ship
The Rotterdam.
Rotterdam.
The Rotterdam, which you
In
saw,
Rotterdam.
which you saw
Rotterdam from Rotterdam.
Yeah, right. Remember we were there in Ellis Island?
in
I
Ellis
even
Island.
saw a picture of the ship at Ellis Island.
And so was that full of people like you, people
Yeah,
coming over
sure,
from
all
Russia?
kinds of. That ship had carried nothing but foreigners.
Really? Did you make friends with anybody on the ship? Do you
I
remember?
don't remember.
You remember that?
Young.
You were 5, huh?
Yeah.
Five.
There must.
How come a 5-year-old kid remember all that?
Yeah.
But we came right to Milwaukee.
What?
My aunt,
Makes the person look heavier.
my aunt
Does it
Weinstein,
really matter?
took us in her
No,
house.
it doesn't.
We stayed
If
there
she
for a while
asked it,
until
what did
my
it?
father
Steven
Okay.
said it did.
bought a home for, rented a house for
Cousin Ito.
a home.
Which who's Weinstein? Which one is that?
Weinstein is
Middle one.
I'll tell you who she is my grandfather and my mother's side, his sister.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and she came here too?
Oh, she was here a long time
With the
ago.
oldest,
She came way before.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Everybody came to her house. All the other foreigners came to her house because the only place they knew.
Because I was going to ask how come they came to Milwaukee? Was it because of her?
Yeah.
And what was her name?
Weinstein. What is her name?
I pushed the door. That was really cute. It's like this. You know what she does?
I don't remember her first name.
That's your grandfather's sister,
My grandfather.
your mom's aunt, right? Your mom's father's sister.
Yes.
And she came to Milwaukee before you.
That's right.
Huh.
Oh, here, I got it.
And so she must have had kids here too, right?
Oh, yeah, she had children, sure.
Yeah, do you remember what their names were?
One was Marie, one was Anna, and the son was Irving.
Irving.
Vaccinate.
And do you remember if they had kids?
Because I need it.
I don't think so.
No?
Irving, I think, had a girl.
Uh-huh. But the two daughters did?
One, Marie the Young never got married.
Uh-huh.
Anne was married to a guy by the name of Shapiro.
Uh-huh.
They divorced later on.
And so they didn't have any kids?
No,
No. And so, but Irv had one daughter,
Irving had a daughter.
and do you know what happened to her? No.
No, I don't.
So they're the ones who were the reason you came to Milwaukee.
They were in other words, they were the,
She's sitting in back.
how would you call it?
She pushes him off.
The place where all the foreigners from the old country came first to their house. She put them up, sure.
Did they have a nice house?
Oh, at that time it was a nice house,
Yeah.
yes.
You didn't even hear, Mom.
How about I heard?
And considering those times,
Right.
it was a big house.
Talk to nobody else got
And,
to talk, but that wasn't trying to hurt
It
somebody.
was
No,
nice, it was a
I
lot of
think
fun.
Never tried it.
Is me.
This was where I started going to school.
I don't know, maybe.
And what did they do?
Just forget.
I don't know, I don't think so.
Their family.
It's
I don't
called
remember what they did.
G-E-N-E-S.
And so so you started going to school, you said you remember first grade.
Oh yeah, first, second, third,
Who was your first grade teacher?
Stretgold.
And you were a good student? But,
And my third grade teacher was Miss Adamai. Then we moved. So from the Garfield Avenue School, which I started, I went to 9th Street School. That's where I graduated graded school from.
uh-huh.
I started there in 4B. You said A and B.
Right.
I started in 9th Street School in 4B, and in 5B, after a year, 5B, they promoted me to 6B. So, and then 6th, 7th, and 8th, I went to 9th Street and graduated there.
So you said you skipped though a year,
I
right?
skipped a grade, yeah.
Which one did you skip?
5 to 6.
5. You would say they would put you straight into 6.
Yeah, and instead of 5A, 6B.
Uh-huh.
And from there, I went to North Division High School.
Now I heard that not you, but Grandma Mill went to school with Golda Meir. Is that right?
That I don't know. She didn't tell me about it.
She didn't tell you. Pam?
I knew Golda Meir. She went
You
to
know
fourth,
Golda Meir, so maybe it
not
was
personal, but I knew of her. She went to 4th and Garfield, 4th and Galena School. She was a nice person.
you. Yeah,
Very nice
yeah.
person. Very.
No, she must have been an amazing
Oh, yeah.
person.
She could be what you call Prime Minister of Israel. She should be.
So those Milwaukee schools must have been pretty good
Yeah.
at that time, huh?
Wonderful school system. They taught me a lot, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And then you went on. Did you?
In North Division High School.
What did you do after high school?
I worked, my brother Abe had a drugstore already at that time. So I worked in the drugstore for the summer. See, as I told you, I was going to start and going to Madison to study for doctor. So in between June and September, he taught me to be a pharmacist.
Pharmacist. And you didn't have to go to school to be a pharmacist?
Yes, I had to go. I went to what they call pharmacy college.
Uh-huh.
You had to go 3 months.
Really? That's all?
And then 2 years practical.
Uh-huh. Which you could do with your brother.
My father and my brother had a drugstore, so that was the practical.
Oh, so your father was a
My
drug...
father, no, he was a fruit peddler.
He was a fruit peddler, so it was just with your brother that
My
you were...
brother.
Uh-huh.
So, and he was a pharmacist at that time, so I became an assistant pharmacist. Call that. Then you had to go practical 3 more years and go study again for the pharmacy college to go to Madison and take an examination for a full registered pharmacist. I did that in 28.
And you did that, you passed the first time.
Oh yes, I never go twice. Well, look at even all my grades from high school. You take 4 subjects, right?
Right.
So all of them, none of them that ever flunk it. Monthly, I mean, not every month. Because I said I'd never go back again and take it over again. Only I got one scare. That was in my senior year.
I mean, they always say, "I
And,
didn't carry things to my car."
in Algebra
I
3.
mean, it's so worth it. It's like this nice little shop.
I was going along great. I didn't give a damn what the hell. So at the end of the last 2 weeks of the year, the teacher gave you former exams to work on for homework. Understand?
Uh-huh.
I never thought of it. I didn't do them. So when the final exam, when they tell you who's exempt and who's not, you know.
Right.
So she didn't call my name out. And I got to say, what the hell is this? I said, I had a good average, I thought. So I come out, I said, Miss Ike, is there something wrong? I said, then why am I'm not exempt? She says, Joe, do you remember those papers we had to homework? I said, yeah. Did you do them? I said, no. She said, that's why you got zeros every year. So when it comes to the final mark, I took the exam. Comes the final mark. I walk over to her desk. She takes a red pen out and give out. So they give you the last month and the final mark at one time. So the final mark she gave me was 60 something. Final average 73. So I made it.
So you made it. You got through.
I got through it.
Just barely.
That's as close as I ever came.
Yeah.
Oh, I had another experience. English 3.
That's what she did. Isn't that funny?
I had Miss Martin was the teacher's name, and she didn't like me. So we had the Washington Irving sketchbook. Did you have that in high school?
No, I don't think so.
So she said to read the book, and then she's going to give us an exam on it. So I read the book, and she just examined it. But she tells us distinctly, do not write on both sides of the paper. Of course I did.
Of course.
So she marked one part only. And I got something like 30 or 40 in that part. Mark, she says, you're going to fail this one. I said, oh no, I'm not. You know, I always memorized the whole damn book. And I got a 90-something on the test again. So when I get the final mark, I got something like 81 or 82. I don't remember which. And then she tells me, she says, see, Joe, I knew you could do it.
You could do it.
Like this.
You're like me. You remember only the bad ones.
Yeah.
The good courses you don't remember at all. But so wait, now you've been married 60 years this past month. And so how did you meet? 60. How did you meet Grandma Mill?
Must I tell that too?
I don't know. If you don't want, maybe if you don't want to say, you don't want to say. You want me to turn off the camera?
No, it's all right.
You don't have to say.
It was in 1935. I knew Mildred 3 years before that because my brother Nate used to go with a girl who was friends with Mildred's father. And she used to come over to their house, and my brother Nate and I used to go over to the house too, and that's how I met Mildred. So after a couple of times, I took her out once. After that, I didn't want to take no girls out. So I didn't meet her until 1935 again, when I came to a wedding in Milwaukee, one of my friends. And I was walking along, was on the trips. I stumbled over something, and she had her foot out there. I said, oh, Mildred? I said, yeah.
I mean, they both came.
Oh, I said, who are you with? She says, this guy here, his name is Franklin. I didn't know his name yet. And I said, you were with him? She said, yeah. I said, well, you're not going to be with him. You're going home with me.
Really?
And she did.
Just like that, huh?
I did take her home, and then I started going with her from then on.
Wow. That's pretty good. Just tripped over her, huh?
Yeah.
And 60 years later, here we are.
Look how lucky she is.
Yeah. She didn't even get. No, she didn't get to hear that.
She'd always mention, bring it up to me.
So she said maybe.
You never told me that.
You never asked.
Hey, Mom, that's what you say too. Hey, Mom, you say that too. You don't ask.
Now you know where Mom got it from.
But
Right.
I can't complain. It's been all right for these 60 years.
60 years. Pam and I have 59 to go.
That's right.
That's all.
After all,
Howard, where are you?
60 years is a long time
Yeah,
to
it's all-
stay with one woman.
Uh-huh.
We had ups and downs and that.
Uh-huh.
All in all, it was pretty fair.
It's pretty fair. Okay, well,
Can't complain. I won't complain.
He's Friday night before.
Not
Study.
now wait, Pam was a Latin scholar also, I think.
Yeah?
I didn't say scholar. Steven took more Latin than I did.
Stephen
Yeah.
took more land
Yeah.
than all of them.
So I was a real Latin
I
scholar.
won't,
Yeah.
I mean, I spent 3.5 years,
So do you remember any Latin?
A little bit. Unos, dos, tres, cuatro,
That's
cinco.
Spanish. No. That's Spanish.
You gotta conjugate the vowels.
Isn't it
Oh, yes,
Spanish?
I can conjugate. You bet your life. Remember? Amo, ama, saman,
Samat.
tamama, samanta, saman?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Yes, that one we
Amaba,
got.
mamaba,
And do you
samaba.
still remember Hickok?
He can't go, quick,
Quick,
quick. Is that true? The vocative is the same as the nominative? What else do I know? I'm Spanish, I took too.
Yeah, that was what you were doing the numbers in Spanish.
Yeah. Unos, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez.
That's right.
Then you would do better in Los Angeles than I am.
That's Pam's learning Spanish now too.
¿Habla usted español, señor? Yo,
Sí,
yo
sí.
me hablo.
Yo,
Yeah. Spanish now.
that's pretty good. That's pretty
I need
good.
to take
Mother,
some
do you know that he's telling everything to hold about?
Oh boy, we know all.